You might know about the terrible things that happened in Germany during World War II under Adolf Hitler's leadership. But did you know what caused those horrible events? The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, had placed the blame for the war squarely on Germany and imposed heavy reparations that crushed its economy. The people were desperate, angry, and searching for someone to lead them out of the darkness. Why did such an intelligent and highly cultured nation allow themselves to be ruled by an aggressive dictator and turn against their own Jewish population? This is the story of how Germany went from Weimar democracy to Hitler's dictatorship. The Nazis established concentration camps and death camps across the continent where millions were imprisoned, tortured, and murdered. The Soviet Union pushed back from the east while Allied forces invaded from the west. The Nuremberg trials were held to bring Nazi leaders to justice. But the legacy of the Nazi era remains a painful reminder of how hatred, fear, and unchecked power can lead to unimaginable tragedy. How does the story of Nazi Germany affect you today? You feel it too, right? The way we work, the way we relate to each other, even the way we think has changed, and at the center of this revolution is technology. The internet connects us like never before, but also divides us with filter bubbles and fake news. Artificial intelligence changes our lives for the better, but also creates new problems and ethical dilemmas. And while social media brings us closer together, it can also be a breeding ground for hatred and division. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about our brave ancestors who resisted the Nazis, check out this video here. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. We hope you learned something new and we'll see you next time. Today, Germany remembers its history with honesty and responsibility. The Holocaust is taught in schools and memorials stand as reminders of the past. We need your help. That's why we're on a mission to bring you the most important news from around the world in a smart, engaging, and easy-to-understand way. Our reporters and editors carefully select the most important stories of the day, and our native speakers adapt them to the language and culture of each country so that you get the news that matters to you in a way that you can relate to. The lessons of Nazi Germany remain clear. When democracy is weakened, help us create the future of news by downloading the app now. Together, we can make sense of the chaos and be a force for good in the digital world. Download the app now. It's free. When hate is allowed to grow and when truth is replaced by propaganda, the consequences can be devastating. It is a warning from history that must never be forgotten. Many were found guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity. The trials marked a turning point in international law and established the principle that leaders could be held accountable for their actions. Germany was divided into 4 zones controlled by the United States, the United Kingdom, the Soviet Union, and France. The country lay in ruins, its cities destroyed, its people traumatized. Cities were bombed, factories destroyed, and the German army suffered heavy losses. In 1944, a group of German officers attempted to assassinate Hitler, but the plot failed. Hitler grew increasingly paranoid and isolated. By April 1945, Soviet forces had reached Berlin, the capital of Nazi Germany. Hitler, realizing that defeat was certain, took his own life in a bunker beneath the city. On May 8, 1945, Germany surrendered unconditionally. The war in Europe was over and Nazi Germany was no more. The Holocaust was one of the darkest chapters in human history. 6 million Jews were killed along with millions of others, including Romani people, disabled individuals, political prisoners, and more. Inside Germany, life was controlled by fear. The Gestapo, or secret police, monitored everyone. Citizens were encouraged to report their neighbors. Schools taught Nazi ideology, and the media was used to spread lies and hate. Any form of resistance was crushed brutally. But despite the danger, some Germans did resist. Brave individuals and groups tried to fight back and protect those being targeted. After World War I, Germany was a broken nation. It faced economic collapse, political chaos, and a deep sense of national humiliation. In 1935, the Nuremberg laws made it illegal for Jews to marry non-Jews or even hold certain jobs. At the same time, Hitler was preparing Germany for war. He ignored the Treaty of Versailles and began to rebuild the German military. He invaded Austria in 1938, then took over parts of Czechoslovakia. Europe watched nervously but did little to stop him. Finally, in 1939, Hitler invaded Poland. Britain and France declared war and World War II began. Into this chaos came Adolf Hitler, a former soldier from Austria who had served in the German army during World War I. He joined a small political group in Munich that would later become the National Socialist German Workers' Party, also known as the Nazi Party. He moved quickly to consolidate power using propaganda, violence, and fear. The Nazis burned books, they arrested political opponents, and they banned other political parties. Soon the Nazi Party was the only legal party in Germany. Hitler became the Führer, or leader of the nation, and established a totalitarian regime. Nazi ideology was built on the idea of racial purity. The Nazis believed that Germans were part of a master race called the Aryans and that all others, especially Jews, were inferior. This dangerous belief was used to justify persecution, discrimination, and eventually genocide. Hitler was a powerful speaker. He knew how to stir emotions, and he promised to restore German pride, rebuild the economy, and eliminate those he blamed for Germany's problems, especially Jews and communists and political enemies. In 1933, Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. Jews were stripped of their rights, banned from public life, and forced into ghettos. During the war, Nazi Germany expanded rapidly, conquering much of Europe. As the war dragged on, things began to change. By 1943, Germany was losing ground. After the war, the world tried to come to terms with the horrors committed by the Nazi regime. Over time, Germany was rebuilt and eventually reunited. What do you think? We are living through an unprecedented time in history. Technology alone cannot solve these problems. And the best thing, you can be part of this community too.